Don't do that, Steve.
I won't.
Don't go out of focus. It's like getting lost in the sauce. Like don't get lost in the sauce. You just have to like ride
it
the
nice
rim
and
of
easy.
it. Make sure you stir that thing occasionally. It's when you don't stir it is when the sauce starts getting.
Talking about stirring it. Let's get that 7-Up open.
You're right.
Ooh.
'Cause today we're not drinking cold lagers. We went with the Delana Special
Yes.
Tennessee 7-Up.
Little Henny 7.
Chop wood, carry water.
You know, I'd be remiss to say that I was kind of figuring out, like, what am I going to drink today on set? Because, like, obviously I had to have something to wet the whistle with. And Steve came out of the left field with we're drinking Henny and 7 today.
Henny 7s, baby.
Doesn't really take me a lot to say yes to having a good time. So thanks for starting us off the right
Absolutely.
way on this lovely Tuesday.
Yes, thanks for the Zin.
How's my pleasure. How's the day going? How's the week going? I mean, Tuesdays are always tough. We always get down here on a nice little lovely evening on a Tuesday, but it's early in the week. But you have to dominate early in the week to have a good back end of the week. How are we looking?
Dude, last week was piss poor on execution.
Okay.
Probably like a 4 out of 10 execution-wise. So had to get back on the grind. I've ran 5 miles so far. 3 yesterday, 2 today.
Getting a little runner's high?
Getting a little something going.
Hey, talking about a little high, 420 just you know. And 420 falling on Easter is absolutely, like, it's madness.
Yes.
It's madness. And obviously, you know, people dabble in it, but one guy that I think dabbles in it is Mr. Cody Bellinger of the New York Yankees.
Tell me about it.
He is 3 for 3 the last 3 years on 420, hitting bombs. And it's a stat that is now being widely passed around the internet, trying to figure out, is this man just getting loaded on 420 and coming out and just playing fearlessly?
Dude, you were showing me the picture of him.
He's zooted.
He has a shiesty on. Bro, he has a shiesty on, and he's just high as a kite.
Well, I'm laughing because, like, the New York Yankees for a long time had a ton of standards for their players to be within the organization.
Yeah.
Like, literally since the Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle era, they weren't allowed to have facial hair.
Now all of a sudden they're like, you can
grow
shave
your hair out. You can wear a shiesty in the dugout. You get high.
You can get high and hit bombs
the day before the game, and then come out and hit bombs because all we
I
can
love
talk
it.
about winning.
I love it.
But I think it was so funny. All the little memes and all the little videos. Like,
Yes.
the dude looks like he's on outer space, but the results are in the pudding. All
Hey.
right, like, he's 3 for 3. He's hitting bombs. He's feeling good. He's feeling nicey.
Yes.
That's all we really care about.
No, there's nothing like seeing a guy just in his own world, in his own environment, and just playing out of his ass.
No, and, like, baseball players are interesting, right? Like, obviously, fun fact, baseball is the longest sport I play. I played baseball for 14 years. But baseball players, and once you get to this highest level, I've had some guys that have had some really good success. I've been friends with guys that have had a lot of success and have made it to the league. Or really the show, is what they call it. But they're interesting cats, man. Like, if I'm a center fielder, think about the game time, right? Outside of being in the dugout, you're spending, like, solitary time in the outfield for an extended period of time.
By yourself.
Inning by yourself. The thoughts, the craziness,
The crowd chirping you in center
amount
field.
of mental focus you have to like, stay locked into that game. Think about it. He might not have a ball hit to him for, like, 3 innings.
My ADHD would not allow me to. I just see a butterfly.
You ever
and
seen bench warmers?
Oh my gosh, yes.
You ever seen bench warmers?
Exactly. I'm in the outfield with a helmet on.
You're in the outfield with a helmet on, sitting crisscross applesauce, playing with the flowers in the ground.
Exactly.
I like that. So, obviously, you know, last week we talked a lot about the draft. We're going to continue talking about the draft because it is one of the hottest markets to talk about on sports as we lead into it. We're a little under 48 hours away, and as we would say, it's critical 48. There are some dudes sitting on their couch right now, probably getting some workouts in because they need to get their mind off it.
Maybe a little nervy.
A little nervy. Bro, there's dudes' futures that are sitting in the glance of some organization that wants to take a chance on them. I have been in that moment, but not at the level that these guys are. Like,
Do you think, just quick question that came up off the dome. Do you think guys that made it to, top 30, where they do that top 30 workouts, they've, like, sat with teams, like, you think they're feeling good about where they're going, or do you think those make you even more nervous because there's so many dudes in, like, that they're looking at?
I think it could go either way, But I think it's one of those things. Like I'm sure their agent, I'm sure their close family friends, I'm sure there are people that are close in their inner circle are like, this is truly a chop wood carry water situation. Yeah. You cannot believe the hype in what one team tells you. You can't even believe in what one team doesn't tell you. You just need to go in and do what you need to do, take care of business how you've been taking care of business, and when the big day comes, it's going to take care of business.
And whatever happens, happens.
Whatever happened, right? The chop wood carry water is like, let's take care of the small things. Small things that I can take care of is nailing my interview. Yep. High level effort when I'm out there, making sure that I'm showing good body language. All those things that you've been taught as an athlete for a long time, but now it's under this giant microscope from every team. So I do think it probably adds a bit of nerves because, like, if I'm Ashton Genty and I'm having workouts with every team now, I've met with every team is blowing smoke. Like, bro, you're generational. Do I want to sit on my couch and just dive into those thoughts, or I just want to go like, hey, man, I need to embrace this situation. I'm never going to get drafted ever again.
Drafted once. One of the things that I love that I saw Ashton Genty said, he's like, it's tackle football, and they can't tackle me.
No, that was in his that. So I think it's become more of a thing. I don't know if it's
was that him that said that, or was somebody saying that about him?
No, that was like him sending a memo to the NFL.
Yes,
so because like Couple Boys have done it. Like so that's in the same version of Travis coming out and saying like, don't draft me unless you're going to let me play both, was him letting all those teams that were on the board, like, he's a wide receiver for us. Like, no, you're on notice now that if you draft me, I'm going to make a fuss until you let me do both.
Right.
Genty approached it of like, let me send a memo out to this league. Let me put them all on notice. Like, we play tackle football. Why not draft the guy that they have a hard time tackling?
Exactly. I love that.
I love that.
And it's cold. And he's betting on himself just that he's going to go into a league because he played in the Mountain West. Mm-hmm. A lot of people said, Mountain West, you could break tackles in the Mountain West, whatever. Now it's big boy time, and he's like, I'm betting on myself. Let's ride.
Like Comstock, football's football, man.
Football is football.
Like, the beauty of it is like there's going to be 11 versus 11, a couple zebras out there and a pigskin, and we're going to line up and get it. I don't give a fuck where you play or where you're at. You still got to have good technique.
Hey, you're locked in that.
Your feet.
You're locked in that gridiron once it goes down.
And like, hey, you might tackle me 9 times out of 10, but that one you don't. I'm busting it for 60. I'm scoring a touchdown on you. Yep. And realistically, that's the beauty of offense versus defensive football. You can get right 9 times and win. I only have to get right once, and I score a touchdown. That's why those guys get paid a lot of money. But thinking about the draft and talking about these players, right? Again, Genty generational, Travis Hunter generational. There's a lot of talent up in this upper part, especially in running backs are making more of an emergence. Yep. Right. Saquon. I think I also heard Genty come out and say like, I'm trying to do what Saquon did, and like ASAP, like tomorrow.
And I feel like if a team picks him with a good O-line, it's scary. If he's in the secondary,
I think you're
second level.
Day one green.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna have to learn the playbook and pick it up. But like with that type of talent and that body type and the way he's running downhill between the A gap, if I got a good O line, I get the ball to Genty and let's let our O line make us correct.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of how Brock Bauer was.
Yeah.
When like everybody knew he was going to play instantly. And I have a feeling that's going to be Genty.
Yeah, no, I think there's a couple guys in the draft that are kind of that way, and it's good from a utility standpoint for a running back that is already essentially polished enough to come in and take that workload, and one meets the physical requirements for it. Right, you saw videos of him on his pro day. He looks locked in,
beefy.
That I want that. If I'm a former center, I want that guy running behind me, even though he's a former the Donkey T State. Boo. Right, but in talking about that. There has been some inquiry, a little bit of rumors, right? There's lots of movement in the NFL draft all the time, right? Whether that's trading draft picks or moving people around or trading up or trading down. Teams that are already established don't necessarily go and get a draft pick, vice versa of all those situations. There's been a little bit of rumors that sitting at pick number 2 and pick number 3, which is Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants, that they're open to trade. They're pretty much letting the market know. Let all other 30 teams know, like, hey, we're sitting at 2, but we don't really need to pick at 2. So what do you got? What are you going to give to me to come move up the draft and get a number 2 in the first round?
I think it's a risky thing to give away those picks or trade away those picks. But I also think in their situation, they're already struggling so bad that a vet could help them out a lot.
For sure, because
probably help them like instantly more than having to see or take a gamble on a guy.
Yeah, because you can go grab a wily vet and bring some good veteran presence into your locker room or into your building that helps you move in a better way than a rookie would, right?
Absolutely.
Rookies definitely help if you already have things that are established, you have a good culture within your building and they just come into the fold.
Yeah.
Whereas the scarcity mindset is like, well, we're fucked, and like I'm gonna go draft this rookie because I hope that he changes our entire world and gamble on that. And I think you see that in the NFL all the time. You go see a struggling franchise that drafts a young quarterback and goes, well, shit, fire, you better figure it out, brother, because we put all our chips in your bag. So, and I mean, that's a little bit of the Chicago Bears situation with Caleb Williams. Is like, you were the Heisman Trophy winner. You're coming out like,
come save us,
please help us. They need some milk.
Yeah,
but I wanted to ask, realistically, if we're talking about trading up, I'm looking at the draft roster right now. Tennessee has already come out and said, like, we're not leaving one. Yeah, picking at one.
They know as soon as they're on the clock, their pick's in.
Like, I think it's 10 minutes, like 9 minutes, 59.9 seconds. That ticket's in, and they've predetermined it. I think it'd be ridiculous if they let it go any longer. They'd just be, like, pissing their fans off at that point.
Okay, so if you've had the conversation with Tennessee Titans and they're like, we're just letting you know we're taking you first round, first overall, it's locked, are you going to the draft?
We had chatted about this a little bit before, and I think if I'm like truly number one overall, and again, I don't think that these boys let that secret out the bag all that early.
I don't think so either.
I don't think I'm being told that I'm going to be the number one overall draft pick by Tennessee Titans 2 days before. Like, that's day of conversation. I think that's like halfway through the day conversation. Hopefully, you're going to have a lot of love. If I'm the number one overall draft pick, like, every team's probably licking my nuts.
Yes.
Like, let's not get it twisted. That's just what it is, right? So having those conversations, my agent better be in my ear, like, okay, this is where you're going, bro. But I'm not trusting nothing.
No.
Watch, Tennessee broad statement. We're not taking number one. You take number one if someone come and offered you something crazy.
Hey,
everybody got a price tag.
Justin Jefferson.
Shit can change, really. Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson, next year's first round pick. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Steal of the draft.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Have another. Like, there's obviously everyone has a price tag, but getting into the dynamics and the business culture of the NFL, everything is so not predetermined, but just thought out.
Yeah.
Like, at a psycho level. Like, I think everything is just so, because, like, can it fit our salary cap? Can it move this way? What is that going to affect our bottom line for being able to go get a vet and later on in free agency? Like,
what happens 3 years down the road?
Yeah. What happens if this dude's a bust? Or, I think it's the what ifs of it are super tough. But the long run around of your question is, if I'm pure shot number one overall, I'm at that draft.
Yeah.
And my entire family's with me. All my close people are there with me. If I'm not sure shot number one, I think I'm kicking it at the crib. I think I'm going somewhere and inviting the boys, and because it's such a stressful day, and you don't want to let the stress take over the excitement.
Right.
Like, if I get so overwhelmed and so stressed out, like, I don't even get to live in that moment. I don't have any grounding. Like, that is like, in 2 days, it's gonna be the coolest moment for 200 and 53 young men that are gonna get their name called. Like, it is such a cool and exciting and memorable moment that I think I'd rather be somewhere where I can ground myself and really authentically take that in, rather than be the glitz and glam of like, fuck, like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be first round 15 pick. I didn't get picked. I'm sliding. That camera's in my face, bro.
Yes.
Like, I'm they're getting my girlfriend trying to take my phone. Like, she's turned into a meme. Like, I'm looking sicko because my agent told me I was going to get picked, and now I'm sliding. Like, do I want that on mainstream television? I don't know.
Probably not.
But that happens every year. Every year.
And there's always the one person that's salty because and the crazy thing is, a guy will be salty that he didn't go in the top 5 or whatever, and then he'll fall more to like the 3rd round.
Sometimes
it's like, bro, how do you sit there? Like, I would not be able to sit there. I would leave.
But that's also the part of, like, that's a litmus test for your composure.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you sit there?
I don't know if I could.
I don't know if I could either. I think I'd be hyped up.
Oh, man.
I'd be jazzed up, especially, like, circumstantially. Like, hopefully my agent is telling me, like, shit's going good.
And that's the thing about agents is, even if you have a good agent or a bad agent or whatever, there's the possibility that your agent is misinformed.
Correct.
And now you're pissed off at your agent because he overpromised and underperformed, or teams
he's taking bread from you. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily that he overpromised and underperformed, but teams might have just, shoot, this guy's off the board, which changes our pick, and now you would have went top 5, but something happened and now they got to go a different way.
Yeah.
So it's all, there's so many variables and uncontrollables that I think guys just got to realize that and kind of move forward.
I think that's the beauty and the grace of it, right? Is like from the moment you're on that stage, right? I think it's almost like a trial by fire, because like that is such a amped up moment. It's such a big day, big 3 days, right? Whether it's from pick number 1 to pick 7th round, last Mr. whatever they call him, right?
Mr. Irrelevant.
Mr. Irrelevant. Like, it's such a long process, but it also is like the moment you step on the stage, like you stay on that stage. You're now in the NFL.
Yep.
One of the biggest markets / leagues in the world.
Yep. You're a part of the culture.
You're a part of that culture. You now have to stand by the standard of what the NFL is. Be ready for media opportunity. Be ready for that camera to be thrown in your face. When shit's going bad, they're going to come find you, and they're going to exploit that, because that is the business and the nature of the beast of what it is.
Dude, so every guy, whether they're 5 years old or 22 years old about to get drafted, has thought about getting drafted to a professional sports team. Doesn't matter. Anybody that's listening right now, stop lying to yourself. You thought about it. Whether you were in the shower or taking a shit.
You were a young boy and you played sports, and especially played football.
You dreamed of it.
You dreamed of it.
And
in other sports, you dreamed of that, but yes.
So, and that goes back to like what I would do if I had that opportunity. I definitely think I would be at my parents' house, sitting either in my room or on the couch.
Tom Suck's in his room by himself on draft
Might
day.
be in my room.
Pacing.
Dude, just pacing back and forth.
Who's going to pick me?
Just thinking like, it's all coming down to this, fellas. It started here. It's ending here. And I saw Brock Purdy.
He's got all his old...
all my medals.
Wrestling medals behind
Come
him.
on. Give it to me. But I saw Brock Purdy's Mr. Irrelevant last pick of the draft, and like you could see his whole family, like everybody's on the couch, everybody's leaning in as they're about to announce it, and they all go nuts.
Absolutely.
And that's got to be such a cool, special moment, especially Mr. Irrelevant. Like last pick, are you going to get drafted? Are you not going to get drafted? Like that's a special moment for some of these guys, and I don't think people ever think about like. Every single one of those dudes was a little kid, whether it was, a tough struggle or they were just bred to be that. That's like kind of closure. And then now it's all right, let's lock in and let's make the team and let's get to the 53 man and let's ride.
It's a great turn of a chapter. Right? Like if you broke it down and we're writing a book here, like that young, early adolescence age where maybe you're growing up around football, you play some flag, you're playing Smear the Queer in the front yard, like you're learning how to tackle each other, like you're playing the games.
You go to the Friday night football game in your little jersey.
You're a ball boy.
Yes.
Like you're sitting on the sideline looking at some high school senior like, that dude looks like a Greek god because you're only like 6 years old running the balls for the team.
Yep.
Right? Like those are all chapters. Then you go to your high school and your college rank. And if you're good enough to go from high school to college, you're already a 2%er.
Right.
Okay. That's a chapter. And the greatest ending to that college chapter is you sitting on draft day, getting yourself drafted. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's tons of storylines, like dudes that got disrespected, never got drafted, went on undrafted free agent, whatever. James Harrison, one being noted, who didn't get a single lick from the NFL draft, undrafted free agent, went 12 years in the league, and defensive MVPs, baller, Super Bowl champion.
That's like the equivalent
to stories come.
That's like an equivalent to a walk-on that becomes like an All-American.
Absolutely. But I think you're absolutely right to say like it's a phenomenal close of that chapter.
Yeah.
And the feeling, like I couldn't imagine sitting on a couch, right? Like I play professional sports. I played professional rugby for 6 years. I didn't get drafted. I just got swooped up in the league and started rolling.
Yeah.
Thank you. But like I couldn't imagine being in the situation where I'm sitting on the couch. I got my mom's next to me. I got my dad's on next to me. I got my 3 brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, aunties, uncles, anyone that's ever supported me from when I was 4 years old playing baseball to 23 years old playing college football at Fresno State, beating Boise State's ass.
Every time.
I couldn't imagine the moment of sitting there with them, embracing them. Like my mom used to fucking drive me to 45 minutes of school every day in high school so I could go to the school. Like I couldn't imagine the hug and the love that I get to give her, that I now like, Mom, I'm about to go get my bag. I'm going to take care of you now.
Yep.
Like you don't get it. Like I'm about to take care. Like our family, we're set up because I'm going to go do me.
Have you seen I just came across this like yesterday where like the family members will like make a video and the guys sit and listen to it. some of those are the coolest things where you see you just see the interaction and he's sitting there and just listening to the pure like conversation and that's got to feel unreal.
It's you see the raw emotion on every dude's face, whether that's first to seventh. It's moving. Like you're watching guys that have worked literally their entire lives, dudes that have played football since they were 5 years old, dreaming of being get their name called on television, and it happens. So it's super cool and it's super awesome. But let's move on to
let's get into
what about the NHL action,
dude.
dog?
It is
It's Stanley Cup playoff time.
It is awesome. So I grew up a Ducks fan, but
Mighty Ducks, baby.
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks, their logos look too alike. I didn't even know what they was, but I was a fan of them.
And that was fun until my sister and my brother-in-law, they moved to Vegas when the Golden Knights became a team.
A couple years ago then.
Yeah, a while ago. And that was how he was, my brother-in-law was the one that got me into hockey. He took me to the Ducks games. So once they moved there, they were like, you know what? New team, new city. We just moved here.
Did that, bro.
And they were like, we're gonna become fans of them. And I kind of fed along with that. Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun to watch the Golden Knights and stuff. But Alex Ovechkin, the Washington Capitals, is a dog. He just surpassed Wayne Gretzky for
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Unsurpassed him.
Yeah,
he's
for most
around the block
most goals in NHL history, which is insane because Wayne Gretzky is like one of the all-time greats in sports.
And they did it. He did it in like a relatively same amount of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the time frame for how they got that done was like it wasn't one of those things where Alex Ovechkin played like 15 years longer than him.
Exactly.
Had just more reps to score more goals. Like it was done in the same amount of time. It was really cool.
Let me give you some. I mean, this dude has like 20 NHL official records.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He has most regular season goals, beating Wayne Gretzky. And then he has like 7 as a left winger. He has like 7 goals. Most career, single season, just rookie, career, shots on goal, most game winning goals.
Let's just say
that's badass.
Let's just say my dog is stacking it up.
Yes, most overtime goals, most power play goals. I mean, the guy just scores.
Clutch City.
Most
Clutch City.
Most career 30 goal seasons, 40 goal seasons, and 50 goal seasons.
So what you're telling me is this man's like a walking bucket.
He's a legend.
He's just like, I think there's another stat that he is close to leading the league in most goals scored and most hits.
Yeah,
He's not only is he out there finessing and putting the puck in the net, he's also being a bruiser because you know he's a brick shithouse.
He's not just dangling dudes and scoring goals. He's lighting dudes up.
He's a brick shithouse. He literally finishes his game and probably polishes off 12 packs of silver bullets.
And everybody,
it's just his appetizer for dinner.
And everybody has seen bands to make cut down.
Yes,
bands. Oh, dude,
I'm glad.
Come on now.
Okay, so early, I saw a video the other day. It was a podcast or it was a live interview, and it was an old team manager for the Washington Capitals when Ovechkin was early in his career.
Young
in his career.
Ovi.
He's a rock star, like big talent, big personality, probably doesn't speak a lot of English, like just a crazy mofo, right?
Yeah.
And they're on a road trip, and they had bed check, and bed check was at like 12. They had a late night game. So, and this team manager's going on, and he's going through bed check, and he was close with Ovi. And before he went to go knock on his door, he called him. And he said, Ovi answers his phone, and all you can hear on the phone is fucking reggae, fucking EDM. Like, barely can hear him. And he goes, Ovi, are you in your room? He goes, yes, coach. And the coach hangs
knowing damn well he's at the club.
Coach hangs up and goes, I didn't even want to know, but it sounded like he was safe. Showed up the next game and scored 3 goals. And,
oh, my gosh.
Like, went nutty. Like, and again, like, that's, hey, coaches know their players, and they, like, gotta let them do. Obviously, there's rules and standards and things, but, like, I mean, the guy is a proven winner, and he knows how to get it.
That goes back to Bellinger. Like, well, if he's performing, let him do his thing.
Can he just get him?
Hopefully he doesn't bring other guys along that can't handle it. But
hopefully it doesn't turn in. Hopefully we don't run down a slippery slope. But like, I mean, if he's walking the line, he's walking the line. And
dude,
homers score runs wins games.
Exactly.
Okay. From Kalen DeBoer, University of Alabama coach.
Oh my gosh!
If we score more points than them,
hey, offense.
We will win the game.
I was sitting there. Marcus McMarron was a quarterback, and Coach DeBoer goes up and he's like, "Offense, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna score points. Okay,
points.
Don't worry about the defense. They're not gonna let them score any points tonight." you know what that means? We're going to win this football game. Marcus goes, Coach, I got this. And then Marcus gives a banger of a speech, and we go out there and we kick some ass. But good times.
I've never had a more enlightening pregame speech than, listen, if you score more points than them, you will win this game.
Yes.
I'm sitting there. My piss was hot. I was ready to.
Hey,
go. I wanted to go win that game. I knew what it took.
I'll just say this: that guy has passion. He has the passion there. Okay, and it's received.
Absolutely,
it's received. Absolutely. Okay, so some of the games that I just watched.
Slate.
Okay, well, first off, the Capital game yesterday was awesome. They go up 2-0, and in the third period, the Montreal. They kill 2 power plays, and bang, score a goal right away. Boom, right after that. And then score another goal.
Let's not take for granted. Those goals being scored that close to back-to-back, those arenas, where'd they play? Were they in?
They were in Washington.
That Capitol Arena was going berserk.
Yes.
Like hockey fans banging on the glass.
There's nothing.
I want to go to a hockey game and I want to bang on that glass. Like,
be careful though. You'll get your bell rung.
Come on.
You'll get your bell
I know
rung.
a lot of the price tag. I'm signing. I know the way.
Okay, so then when Montreal when they come back, they look like they're just they're out skating them. They look good, and it goes into overtime. I don't know if there's in any sport where players play harder than overtime hockey in the playoffs. These guys were skating around like crazy, just. Listen, madmen.
The boys is trying to get to their beers.
And it's all about it's one goal.
They're trying to get to the victory chest.
Yeah. Right? And
guess that's a long workday shift on the ice.
Yes. And guess who is the goal scorer in overtime?
The NHL record leader for most overtime goals.
Exactly. And he's just sitting there right in the perfect spot and just puts one away.
Count it.
Which was amazing.
You know he celebrated with a cold Coors Light.
Oh, yeah. I was drinking a few Coors Lights last night, watching the games.
You know what he probably did? He probably went and shook a hand and skated his ass off and scuttled off the ice straight to a cold Coors Light.
Straight to a cold one.
On some Pink Pony Girl by Chaperone and was like, let's get it, boys.
Let's go.
Little EDM reaction.
Yes.
Like,
Coach didn't call him that night to see what he was doing.
He was in the locker room already. He was locked in.
Dude,
then no Shorzy. They were having a little cone in there.
Then the Dallas Avalanche game was crazy.
Dude, I need to lock in on the playoffs. I haven't watched the game yet. But you know what I love about the Stanley Cup?
What's that?
The actual Stanley Cup.
Beautiful trophy.
The trophy is probably, we talk a lot about sports leagues. Obviously, it's a sports-driven podcast. So obviously, we talk a lot about competitions, March Madness, FIFA, Rugby World Cup, all those different things, right? But it's undeniable. The Masters green jacket, even as iconic as that. Like, if I win the Stanley Cup, like, there's stories where like each player on the team
gets it for a day,
for a week.
Oh, for a week.
They could have it for a week because the day would be kind of crazy. The trophy would spend more time in a car driving to that boy or flying to that other boy's house than it would be in his possession. But like guys waking up and having cereal in the cup,
dude, drinking beers out of the cup. Yes,
like the
first thing I'm doing, I'm going to a lake. I'm getting a boat. I'm driving the boat with the cup is in the driver's seat, and I'm just behind it driving.
The cup is driving the boat.
The cup is driving the boat.
Okay.
There's beers in the cup, and I don't know if I want to go just pour a bunch of beers in there and drink it. That would be a little hard.
Like giant goblet, like just a big old, almost like.
Well,
just blood of Christ. Sorry, the chalice in the church, but like a really big one. Really big one.
I think I'm going ice, and it's just the ice chest, and I'm just cracking beers and drinking them. Because I think it'll get a little warm.
Not if you drink it fast enough, brother. I think I'd be slightly obnoxious with it. Like, I'd go to like a fucking Chili's and be like, fill this thing up with $1 margaritas, and keep them and put a salt on that rib.
Hey, you're telling me Chili's ain't filling it up with $1 margaritas?
Stanley Cup winner, that Chili's knows who I am. Let's put it that way, okay? Like, that's not my first time rolling into that Chili's if I'm playing in the NHL.
Exactly.
But I'm salting the rim, everything, big long straw. Maybe it's like one of those. What are they? Fish bowls? Where you go to one of those places that has like 7 straws in it.
Yeah.
I only want one straw. Like, it's just for me. Like, it's not for anyone else. Like, I'm probably by myself too. Like, it's a Tuesday night at Chili's where I'm going for dinner after this. Who knows? But
no, I love that.
The Stanley Cup though is just, it's one of those things that it's the atmosphere and the excitement that gets it for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude,
Like, sports is about that, but
I think
that's what gets me.
one of the cool things too is the amount of energy that's in those stadiums, the amount of passion from the fans is really fun. When the Oilers tied it up, the Oilers were down 4-0.
Gracious sir.
They were down 4-0. Oilers were down 4-0 against the Kings in the second period. Score a late one in the second period, and then come back, tie it up 5-5 late in the third period.
High scoring games in the first couple games.
Yeah.
In the first couple games.
Yeah.
First round, first couple games of that. Like,
And McDavid was just doing his thing, and he passed it. I don't remember who hit the tying shot, but they panned to outside the Oilers stadium. They're hucking beers, like cups of beers in the air. The ground looks like a water park, and they're just going nuts. And then a few minutes later, the Kings put it away, and that stadium blows up.
Oh.
I mean, I don't
know the LA market. Like, they love it.
They love
so
sports.
they're in it.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder. Like, I'm a football guy. Like, scoring a touchdown in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl versus like OT Game 7 Stanley Cup. Which one is better? Like, I don't know if it gets any better than either of those, but
I think they're both freaking electric.
yes,
I think that the blood coursing through my veins is hot. My piss is hot.
Regardless.
Nobody can tell me a fucking thing if I hit that shot. Nobody can tell me a fucking thing if I catch that touchdown. Like, you know, my boys can on the team, but like outside of that, I'm cold. Like, you don't want to fuck with me for the rest of that week until I have to go do it again.
Exactly.
'Cause it's like but like that's the evolution of like being a high level sports performer and like definitely at those leagues. Like, you kind of have to have that undeniable confidence.
yeah.
Because
And
the moment that slips is the moment that everything might start
falls
crumbling.
apart.
Like, you kind of like you look at like when Jalen Ramsey came in the league. Like, everyone was like, bro, he's cocky, arrogant. Like,
Gotta be
the mantra. Like, he needs that. Like, that is the juice that gets him out of the squeeze to make sure that he can be who he needs to be.
we've seen it with some of the guys that we've played with, but everybody knows somebody that has delusional confidence. Delusional confidence where it's
you
like,
need that.
There's no reason this guy should have this confidence, and it's just like it just carries him, and it carries him, and it carries him. And I mean, second to none.
I know a couple guys.
All right, I want you to fill me in on what's going on in the rugby world.
Oh yeah, baby. So obviously, Major League Rugby. We're in week 10.
Okay, time out real quick, just so that people on the pod know. This guy sends me about 3 Instagram reels a day of rugby play, whether it's rugby scheme where it's just like beautiful plays, or it's just guys getting dogged.
I'm either sending him a really broken down analytical clip of like so he can see the gaps we're trying to move and like really get him to understand the game, and then I send him that one that just gets him to tug his balls a little bit. Like, just one dude, like we run a little like there's a couple different forms of rugby, right? You got 7s, 15s, and then you have rugby league. Rugby league is literally big polys throwing their weight at each other.
Yes.
Well, then that transformed into this run it straight challenge. And for all of our followers out there watching, you're welcome for your YouTube next search history. Look up rugby league biggest hits, and you're gonna literally go like, why am I not watching this?
It's like
they are
2000s
melting each other.
It's like 2006 NFL.
No, it is old school NFL with no pads, no pads. Dude's just out there running. Well, the Run It Straight challenge has now turned into this Instagram social media frenzy where a couple poly boys get together out at a park, stand about 20 feet apart from each other, and people are hyping them up, and then they just run it straight at each other.
I've seen this.
One guy's carrying the pill, and the other guy's standing there, and he's got to stand his ground. And they are literally like, I'll be concussed. They are lighting each other
Decleated. I saw one dude got decleated, like he was parallel.
Oh, yes.
He was like 3 feet in the air parallel, and he's like 300 pounds.
Yes.
That's not good.
I sent him one where one dude literally like jumped the defender. He's getting ran straight at, and the defender ran up and literally just left his feet and dove at him like a torpedo. But because this dude was running so hard, the inertia made this guy land, and that dude got absolutely smoked. Think about taking a 300-pound poly's right shoulder to your sternum, and you're just running as fast as you can.
No.
Smoked. But, you know, little to say. I'm trying to get my boy to get a little excited about it. I'm trying so when we do talk about some rugby, he's got a little insight to it.
No, I like it.
Major League Rugby, obviously, the United States primary professional rugby league in North America. There are currently 11 teams within the league. Started out with 6. I was lucky enough to be on the inaugural San Diego Legion team. Played there for 4 years, and had a good time. And then moved on to Houston for 2 years after that.
Nice.
We're broken down into conferences. We have the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference. In the Western Conference, you got Houston, Utah, San Diego, Los Angeles, and Seattle. Seattle being probably one of my biggest rivals is playing at San Diego. They got a great pack. They got a great team. They're actually 2-time MLR champions. They won year 1 and year 3, both times beating me in the championship. So, I'm a proven winner and a proven loser. You got to find those things. Eastern Conference, you're looking, it's a little bit cooler. I think the way that the league is kind of dispersing themselves to figure out where the demographic and where hotbeds of rugby is, they're picking some great towns, right? So on the Eastern Conference, you got Chicago, New England, DC, New Orleans, Miami, and Charlotte. And honestly, this year's been super good to watch, man. Obviously, being a big fan of rugby, being a guy that played in the league, an alumni of the league, grew up playing it in high school, even when I was a little bit younger, being able to be a part of the growth of the league is what excites me the most, right? It's in its 8th year. Obviously, we've had some turnover with some teams. We used to have a New York team. There was an LA team. They left, and then they're back. There was an Atlanta team. So we've had some turnover in the first 8 years, but it's moving in the right direction.
So just so that I can understand and people listening can understand, what's the tempo of a match if you go watch it? Like,
It's truly probably about an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Right? You're going to play 2 halves, 2 40-minute halves. Okay? That half flies by. And it also depends on the level of rugby, right? I was fortunate enough, I took my partner overseas, took her to the highest level of rugby over there, and the match was truly an hour and 15 minutes. Like, we finished, we had a hell of a time, and she looked at me, she's like, it's over? And I was like, well, like, if rugby's played right, it's supposed to be efficient.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be high and dynamic.
Right.
And moving around and body hitting each other. It's not supposed to have a lot of stoppage.
Yeah.
The American game, obviously the skills and the skill base and the talent is still trying to grow. It's trying to bring the American grassroots game up to the level that we need it to be, and also bring an influx of overseas players into the league.
Yeah.
To kind of, I don't know, infuse it to where there is a little bit of this talent that people want to come watch this game and do it.
Yeah.
So
When I
it's
think
not too long, 40-minute halves. There's little water breaks in. You essentially play 4 quarters.
Yeah.
2 or 4 20-minute halves.
So
There's about a little 2-minute water break in between, because some of these games, like, they go through the end of June. Like, I played a rugby game in June in New Orleans, and I don't know if you've ever been in New Orleans in June. It's like 100 degrees and 95% humidity.
yeah, no, thank
Not
you.
really a place you want to be playing a sport outdoors in.
We played Purdue.
Yeah.
In August.
Brutal.
And it wasn't even that hot, but it was humid, and it probably was nowhere near like what you're talking about, but it still sucked.
Yeah.
And we're from Fresno, 110 degrees.
Right.
We'll be fine. It's different.
No, it's different. And
okay, I have a question though.
Yeah.
Kind of more of a statement. More of a statement. So when you're talking about guys coming from overseas, trying to bring the talent level up, the level of the game up, the intensity of the game up, I was watching the difference. We watch a lot of mid-major football, just being fans of Fresno State.
Yep.
When you watch a Fresno State game versus when you watch a top 5, 2 top 5 teams playing against each other, the pace of play is different. Like, it's noticeably different. You could see
Things click
different.
faster.
Yeah.
Guys are. It's the same thing like going from college to NFL. Like,
Yeah.
It's not that these guys are exponentially better than you. They just know their shit faster, so their brain works faster.
Yeah.
So they get to their point.
So is that kind of a piece of it, trying to bring the guys over here? Is like, let's start infusing that into the game where they're playing at a high level, and it's kind of raising those guys to become that.
It's like low-key exposure therapy.
Yeah.
It's like bringing over these high-level players from New Zealand, from South Africa, from Argentina, and bringing them into a group of 10 Americans that have been playing rugby, that understand the game, but now they have this other player that has been playing it their entire life, that sees it differently. And, like, the biggest thing that I learned about rugby and, like, in my own career, and, like, yes, they get bigger and faster and stronger as you grow within the game and you understand the game faster. I think what clicked for me to make me a better player was you see things faster.
Yeah.
And you anticipate things faster.
And I think
Rugby's a
that's
game of anticipation. So if you can anticipate what's going to happen, you're going to be able to move and flow. Whereas like football, it is anticipation, but shit just happens so fast. Like you already predetermined know where you're going, and you just hope that guy gets there too.
Yeah.
Whereas in rugby, it truly is like each little
because
phase
it's a
is
flow.
different flow.
Yeah, because you're never set where the ball is set, everybody gets set, and you go. It's all a flow.
We're running play like those things, those breakdowns, and like we're running plays in hopes that like 2 phases after that play I just ran, we actually got the result we wanted based off that play we ran.
Yeah.
Because somehow we blew a guy up, he didn't get around the corner. Now we have an overload, and we're running down the channel with 3 on 1.
I think an equivalent to that scenario in football is like when you get a scramble drill.
Yep.
And now all of a sudden, oh shoot, how quick can guys react to things and move
like
to things?
You're safety.
Yeah.
This wide receiver number 2 is running a post. Oh fuck, he's running a post.
Yep.
He's running a post. I've guarded the post. Now I'm guarding him. Scramble drill. He ain't running a post anymore.
Nope, he's
Now
running the
just
open
whatever
field.
the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
So like think about that, but put it into some laws and some rugby where there still is channels and rules, but like you still have that flow.
Yeah.
You still have that grove where you're trying to get to. So
Well, I think it's cool. You talk about, guys that have played it their whole life, and the difference isn't in the physicality or like their abilities. It's more in their mental capacity of the game.
Yep.
We've talked to a bunch of dudes that are in the NFL. Like that's really what separates guys in the NFL is knowing in cover 2 the little vet. The vet, I've talked to a few guys that play safety, and they're like, the vets tell you how to play this coverage.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be the exact way it's taught, but it'll help you, and it's
the
quicker.
result.
You're
Yep.
quicker.
Yep.
And, you look at a guy like Deron Bland, who holds the record for most pick sixes, and that was kind of one thing he talked about was like, I learned vet rules and trades like that I didn't get bigger, faster, stronger. I just became smarter and developed.
a more savvy player.
Yeah.
And I understand the rules of engagement.
Exactly.
And I think like a lot about that is rugby. But the coolest thing that, talking about the league and talking about where professional rugby is going in America, America is about to host 2 Rugby World Cups. Okay. They're going to have LA 2028 and then a 2032. It's going to be a women's World Cup and a men's Rugby World Cup. So the growth of the game is peaking at where it needs to go.
Right.
If you took 10 years ago where rugby was at, you're still seeing it kind of grow into high school. The USA national team is kind of figuring its footing, trying to figure it out. We're working to essentially build the lead up so that by the time we're playing in those Rugby World Cups, America as a state and a country and as a union for rugby, they need to be ready to take advantage of all that rugby hotbed talent being on our home soil.
Yeah.
And
And
the
we-
amount of eyes that now get to see that.
And it's good that it's in the future and that they're building it now, because that's an opportunity that's
huge.
That's already preset. Sometimes you don't know when opportunity is coming, and it'll smack you in the face. You don't even know that happened.
Correct.
But this is one that you can we know where it is. We can build to it, and if
we can execute.
If they execute the right way, and that happens on home soil, that'll grow the sport in a big way.
They've always said, every other country has always said, like, America is rugby's sleeping giant. If America can ever wrap their brain around rugby, most of these other countries would be not screwed, for the lack of a better word, but they'd be in some hot trouble, right?
Right.
Like just from a sheer number of professional athletes and the number of people that are athletic within the United States, our numbers are sheerly bigger.
Yeah.
But like, you take a kid that was All-American in football, and instead of him growing up watching football, he grew up and played rugby and watched rugby, and like, he's still going to turn out to be that All-American and be that nasty athlete.
Right.
If you took half of those kids and took some football players and said, we're going to teach you how to play rugby from ground up, we would be filthy.
Well, and it's cool to see. Like, there was a kid I went to high school with that went to Kowloon and played rugby, loved it.
Yep.
And now, he got some of his friends into it. We know some people here in town that are now playing rugby in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was not a thing 10 years ago.
I got lucky
5 years ago.
I got lucky in high school, going to a high school that had it. But like, the league is going to reap the benefits from that.
Yeah.
Right. And like, for all our listeners, like, you need to tap into rugby. It's one of the best sports you could be a part of, one of the best sports you could watch as a commentator and as a spectator. Like, they're out there putting their body on. Like, rugby is truly a team sport.
Yeah.
It's 15 on 15, and you really like I'm running for my boy next to me and the boy next to me, and we do that shit together. And we might get in a fist fight out there with that other team, and we might get rowdy.
I like that.
I've gotten in plenty of fights in little small. It's like hockey. You can get into a scuffle
Yeah.
now, right? You can get after it, but after that game, like we're mandatorily going to share a meal with them. And we're gonna get into the beers, baby.
Let's
and
go.
We're gonna get on the piss, and we're gonna have a good time.
What a cool culture for dudes to go out there. Like you're saying, you're so bought into your team and helping your brothers out. They are too, and it is war. It is all out war.
There's been studies and case studies, and I've been fortunate enough when I was playing at San Diego Legion that we were so close to military bases and being down there in Carlsbad that one of our team managers was a former Marine recon specialist.
Wow.
And like truly OG of the most badass of badass dudes I've ever met, has led people into war multiple times and has come out and was very open about the work that he did overseas. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. But he said there's not another sport in the world that actually mimics the tactics of war.
Wow.
He's like the tactics that rugby players and the mindset that you have to bring to the table, the way that you're doing that 15 working together for everything to work is not far off from how war tactics.
Well, that and there's like actual there's a lot of excuse me, there's a lot of risk in that.
Yes.
Like you don't have a helmet, you don't have shoulder pads, you don't have.
It's a very calculated game.
Yeah.
Like it's very much like as much as people will say controlled chaos.
Yeah.
It is 1,000% controlled chaos. Like I'm running 1,000,000 miles per hour at you, but like at the last second, I'm going to be so dialed into my technique, my near hip, near shoulder, cheek to cheek. I'm driving through the leg. I'm chop tackling. I'm rolling. I get up out of there, protect my even all that I just ran through my brain. Like that's happening in a millisecond.
Yeah.
To be able to go make that tackle, get up, and then continue the flow of the game. But I would tell you for all our listeners and our people, like rugby's going to grow in America. It's going to get to a point where kids are growing up and deciding to play it when they're younger. And I hope that it gets to the point where there's a trajectory where a kid finally gets to go like, I want to be a professional rugby player in America, and I see the pathway for it.
Yeah.
I get to play in a little league of it. I get to go play in my high school, and then I have the opportunity to get drafted and then go play in the MLR and represent my country, hopefully down the road.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
So the league, to say the least, the league is growing. We're halfway through the season, right? Week 10, it's a close one. The boys on both ends of the spectrum, Houston SaberCats, Utah, and San Diego are at the top of the spectrum over here with 32, 31, and 26 points. Okay, just like in soccer and other things, it's a point system. If I win the game, I get 4 points. If I score 3 tries in that, I get a bonus point, so I have 5. My max points I can score in a game is 5. Each game, I'm tallying those points up. So through week 10, obviously taking account each team gets 2 bye weeks. We're sitting at those top 3. If the playoffs were today, those would be the 3 teams that are going to move on from the Western Conference. But 26, 31, 32, that's real close. That's a game. That might be 2 games, right?
Right.
That could be a loss with a bonus point.
So it's not necessarily wins, and it's not necessarily
It's based off wins and losses because if you win, you score more points.
Right.
But think of soccer. Like,
wait.
Even
So
if I lost, I could still get like 2 points.
So if you're getting blown out and you have a really bad game, that's more detrimental than somebody barely squeezing out a win.
Yeah, because if realistically, if we were playing a game, me versus you, and it's my rugby team versus your rugby team, and you beat me by 7 points, but that game was tight, I can still walk away with a point because I'd have a losing bonus point.
Gotcha.
Which means I kept that game close. I only lost by within a score, so I get rewarded for that.
Yeah.
Which in the grand scheme of things, that's why the season being long. Like if I'm like looking at the Eastern Conference, right? Chicago in first, New England second, DC third, NOLA fourth. It's 33, 31, 25, 22. Sitting at 22, it's halfway through the season. You still have you are so far in the running to be in the playoffs because you could still score, anywhere from 2 to 5 points each week,
right,
and get yourself into those. Obviously, winning is going to solve a lot of problems, but even if I draw or if I take a loss, but I scored more than 3 tries in that game and I won, kept it within 7, I'm scoring 2 bonus points there. So I'm still adding to my tally. I'm still moving up the ranks. So it gets a little hairy towards the end of the season.
Oh, I'm sure.
It gets to the point where like, if we win this game and we get bonus point and that team loses but they don't get a bonus point, like we jump them in the standings, like it gets kind of rowdy. It's a little bit like the professional soccer league overseas, the way that kind of the points table works from there. So, but man, it's going to be exciting. I've been excited to watch the season. Obviously, I finished up playing there about 2 years ago, so I still have a lot of friends.
Fresh.
It's fresh, but I'm so glad to be done with it. My body thanks me every day.
But it's got to be fun to like go back and watch that. You still kind of feel connected.
Well,
still feel a part of
they're doing
it.
great, man. The league got picked up by ESPN Plus this year.
Nice.
So every single game's on ESPN Plus, whether that's on a Saturday or Sunday. They got some wonky. There's actually a game tonight. They have some wonky, weird schedules where there's like a Tuesday, Wednesday game.
Yeah. Maction.
So yeah, a little back. Like, hey, we need some TV time. Put us on there. We'll take that slot.
Exactly.
So it's kind of messing with the schedule, but it's been cool, man. Like being able to have access to it, and then also know, like, man, I was a part of that league, kind of getting its kind of foothold,
kind of building it
into the American market, and being in it, spending 6 years of my life chasing that ball around. And
it's almost like you got in on ground level, and you get to watch it grow now.
No, I learned so much from it. Right, I was a part of all the marketing schemes. I was this big marketing scheme, being a Division I football player that was trying to go to the NFL that decided to now play rugby, and so I had a lot of time building that league. But it's a good time to just see it kind of blossom to what it's going to blossom. And obviously, I have a ton of friends that are still playing. Yeah. So they'll play a game, and I'm in their ear texting them. Like, it's funny. Like, I'll just blast them in the middle of the game. I got one of my big teammates. His name's CC. We call him CC Big Hiss. He is 6'10", 285 pounds.
That's a big boy.
Big old Tongan boy. He's from the Bay Area. He's a lock.
Sounds like what David Tongipaw wanted to be.
Yeah, sounds like what David Tongipaw wishes he would be. It's like that picture of like him laying with the picture of his hand on it. Like, CC, he wishes he was that big. And I'll like text that fool in the middle of the game like, "Hey, why are you running so soft? Like, put your head down and go blow somebody up." Like, or a couple other buddies that are props or whatever. I'm like, "Bro, quit take your skates off. You're getting thrown around in the scrum. Do something different." So I know you felt that. Comstock.
Yes.
Fun fact, was still in his senior year when he was put in the group chat with all the alumni boys.
Oh man,
absolutely roasted.
We were doing well for a while, and I didn't get too much flack.
And then the wheels fell off.
Then the wheels fell off, and it was just. I think you guys forgot I was in the group chat for a sec.
We actually, you'd be proud, Mara, she's the one who was like, Comstock's in there. You need to be nice. And we're like,
dude, they were like,
to learn.
They were like, I can't, I'm so disappointed in Bulldog. And they're like, just like, defense can't tackle for shit. I'm like, damn, I missed 2 tackles today.
That old clip of like, let the boy watch.
Dude,
he needs to learn. Yes. Like I learned.
Dude,
my daddy learned.
I think we lost to...
you got blown out by San Jose State by them running gap power.
No,
the most traditional way.
They ran
counter tackle.
Yeah,
it literally was the most traditional. Like as an offensive lineman looking at that, I was like, they are literally running the simplest guard tackle counter with no other action behind it, but gashing us,
dude,
for 15 yards apiece.
First play, they run counter.
Oh yeah,
and I'm in the deep post, so I'm 20 yards deep from the line of scrimmage, and I see, dude. Nobody, I see a gap that's probably 5 yards wide, and I just see a running back go, shoom, and I'm like, oh crap, tackle him. And I'm like, it's gonna be a long game, fellas.
It's gonna be a long game.
Long game.
I don't want to get too deep into it before we round this thing out, but that's because our 3 technique was swimming to the double team, not away.
Right into it.
Just said, hey, this guard's trying to come double team me. I'm gonna swim to it. And I'm going to go where he wants me to go.
Let's not even get into it. I'm going to get mad again. But just so the listeners know, they can get full context, I sat in the locker room after that reading all of my friends tell me how tackling is piss poor. And I sat there and I reflected on my football career.
Well, you know what, Comstock? Just so you know, just so I give you full context, I was on a camping trip. You ruined my entire camping trip. I was sitting out there in the woods, worked hard to get that shit on Wi-Fi, and now I'm pissed off because the dogs are getting their teeth kicked in by San Jose State.
Hey, I got a full taste of it this year, brother, and I let my fellas know.
Absolutely. Well, brother, it's been an absolute lovely Tuesday,
like always,
as most Tuesdays are. I will give you credit where credit is due. That Henny 7 is lovely.
It's always good to have a drink with the fellas.
Lovely. For all of our lovely listeners out there, remember, every day, chop wood, carry water.
You.